Today is a filming day, so I'll be in this outfit and same background, same makeup for a couple of videos. Bear with me guys, I'm gonna try to make it as interesting as possible, but here we go. My name is Rena, welcome back if you're new here, hello. So what I was gonna say is, it's the end of the year as I'm filming it and the start of the year as you guys are watching it. So it's about new start, summarize, you know, here and there, and we are going through all of the vitamin C's that I used up in the year of 2022. Talk about all of them. I pretty much reviewed all of it, I think, for the last year. Yes, I will leave links down in the description below. I'm not really good at it, but I'll try my best, as well as up in the card so you can always check it out after the video. There are only two that I kept the bottle. I try to remember it, but I tend to throw them away. If I had photos or something, I'll just leave it as I was talking through. The idea of these videos, today we're doing vitamin C and I'm going to film another one for the retinoid in a minute. It's to give you guys an idea of all the things that I finished, literally focus on this particular one type of ingredient, how I feel, what I recommend, and give you guys a bit of an idea what to really choose from, because I was able to use them up completely. Before we dive into each individual product, just quickly mention the vitamin C, why we are so keen for vitamin C. It's not for immune system as the one we take it as in the supplements. It's because vitamin C is one of the powerful antioxidant that we can find on the market, as well as the retinoid. So vitamin C is great to be used during the daytime because it helps going against the free radicals, the UV damages, and it also helps to evening your skin tones, your dark circles, targeting skin discolorations. So overall, with all that, you have a brighter, have a nice skin tone, and it also, like I said, help against the sun damage. How good is that? I know sunscreen is something we really struggle to put on, but surely a vitamin C serum is not as hard as a sunscreen. Anyway, and we're gonna go into all the 5 products I've used up in the year of 2022, and if you'd like to see what I've finished and how I feel about it, let's keep watching. And if you like today's content, don't forget to give me a like and consider subscribe so you won't miss out the retinoid chapter. The first one that I used up is the Mcobeauty Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid and Vitamin C Face Serum. This serum is quite expensive. It retails for $35 for 30 ml. Well, there is always sale, so that's good. The first ingredient that I see is niacinamide on the second of the ingredient list. Obviously, the first one is water. So I'm thinking, okay, it's a combination serum because niacinamide is a great and affordable active ingredient. It's great for evening skin tone, brightening skin, actually help to minimize the excessive oil production, and it also have anti-inflammatory properties, minimize the pores. It's good to have it in a vitamin C serum. I'll keep looking, and then the number 13 ingredient is the hyaluronic acid. It's like, okay, it's not having a lot and I still not see my vitamin C. Then the 14th ingredient is vitamin C rich cacao plum. So this is where I need to tell you the different types of vitamin C. When we're thinking about vitamin C, the holy grail big boss is ascorbic acid. It is the pure form of vitamin C that kind of get the skin absorbed immediately, but it is very unstable and it's quite hard to formulate it. When it becomes effective, it can be a bit of irritating as well for certain type of skins based on the concentration, the formulation, etc. So there are also a lot of derivatives, and there are a whole bunch of them. We're going to talk about a few in today's video. They are a little bit more stable, easy to formula, and is less irritating, but that means it's less effective and you have to use it for a long period of time, and it might not be as good or as quick as you can see a result. So some people prefer a pure ascorbic acid over the derivatives, but some of the derivatives that we're going to talk about having particular property that is actually equal or even better than ascorbic acid. So all depends on why you want to use it, what are you using it for. However, the form that we've got in the Mcobeauty serum is a plant-based vitamin C rich cacao plum. I have no idea how much vitamin C is actually in there, and the conversion is going to be even more complex, and very little going to actually convert it into pure ascorbic acid for sure. So when I was using this serum, it's a great serum. It feels very nice on the skin, absorbs nicely, got nice scent to it as well. I just think it's not a vitamin C serum. It is more of a niacinamide serum because that's on the second of ingredient list. So if they name it as hydrating hyaluronic acid and niacinamide brightening facial serum, whatever, I think it's great. Although the price is a bit pricey, but they naming it a vitamin C, I think is a totally marketing reason. I'm not complaining or judging. I'm just simply pointing out the fact they could actually do a lot better if they're putting out as a niacinamide. I would still go ahead and buy it to test it. Will not repurchase though because I think it's expensive. But giving the vitamin C and people not receiving it, it's just confusing. That's I think why I was kind of a bit, it's just confusing the customers and confusing me when I was trying to categorize this into the vitamin C serum because that's what it is. But the truth is, it's not a vitamin C serum, it's a niacinamide. Anyway, as we're talking about vitamin C serums here, this is the one that I will not repurchase for sure, and I will not recommend it. Even if you're after niacinamide serums, it's good, but I think it's pricey. The next one I'm going to finish up is the Booster Lab Vitamin C Brightening Serum. This one is a lot better. We have sodium ascorbic phosphate as the vitamin C ingredient. This is obviously a derivative. I see this one on the 5th of their ingredient list, which is pretty high up on the list. Let's talk about this particular ingredient, sodium ascorbic phosphate. We go as short as SAP. This is a water-soluble vitamin C derivative. This particular derivative is really good for targeting skin discolorations. So if you have targeted area of discoloration, you might want to go for this particular derivative over the other. The usual concentration that we have in a serum is about 0.2 all the way to 3%. If you do know the concentration in a serum that containing SAP about 5%, then it can pretty much equalize to a pure ascorbic acid. From the bottle, I cannot tell how much we've got, but it's on the 5th of the ingredient list, so I'm thinking maybe somewhere around 1% or even less than that. If it actually contains up to 1%, then it's also really good for helping skin breakouts. You can work it well with the benzoyl peroxide or BHA as a combination. The other really good thing about this ingredient is you don't need to have a very low pH to make it work. If you use ascorbic acid, you will know it requires a low pH to make the most out of it. However, a lot of the cleansers or other serums, toner that we use is usually giving a neutral pH. So combining the two, you kind of have to wait to get your skin into a better pH level to make your vitamin C working the best. So using a derivative that does not require a low pH, it's actually making the whole application method so much easier. Other ingredient that we see in this bottle is also niacinamide, which is on the 2nd on the list. You definitely see niacinamide in a lot of vitamin C serums because one of the main property of niacinamide is brightening. And as the name suggested on this bottle of the serum, it's called a brightening serum. The experience of using the serum is great. It has a quick absorption. It works well with everything else. But just talking about vitamin C, I'm not quite sure the concentration. And when I use a derivative, I wanted to have more concentration because I know it's going to take more work to convert it into pure ascorbic acid. If I'm only getting around 1%, by the time I actually get into my skin for the pure ascorbic acid, it's going to be minimal. So for this reason, I will not repurchase this one. But I do kind of recommend if you are just tipping toes into the vitamin C world, it's going to be a very mild, not irritating serum for you to start with. During the same time or the same quarter, I've also used up a Swisse vitamin C serum. It's the 10% brightening booster serum. Straight away, I know I have 10% vitamin C here, and it has a really clear label description on the website, as well as you can find it just on the back of the bottle about their ingredient. This one contains 10% of two different derivatives of vitamin C. One is sodium ascorbic phosphate, which we just mentioned, the SAP. That's on the 2nd of their ingredient list. And then we also have magnesium ascorbic phosphate. This is on the 5th of their ingredient list. Similarly, we're gonna call this one MAP. This is another really good vitamin C derivative ingredient. It is again water soluble and it doesn't require a low pH, so you can pretty much use it pair along with everything else. You don't have to worry about it too much. It has a great antioxidant ingredient and even as low as a concentration from 0.1 all the way to 2%. But if you have a ingredient that you know the concentrations between 2 to 5, it's actually really good for getting rid of the uneven skin tone. And if you have something greater than 5% all the way up to 10%, it is super good for discoloration. From what I can see based on the ingredient list order as well as the total concentration, I would say this one is probably around 2%-ish. So it's gonna be perfect for uneven skin tone, which as the name suggested, brightening effect. The other thing really good that MAP contains that vitamin C does not, or not as good as this derivative, is how it penetrates deep into the skin. Because MAP as an ingredient is having an oil loving nature. That means a lot of it will get penetrated better into the deep layer of the skin. And that is something that pure ascorbic acid does not have. So you often hear people saying if you're having a dry skin, they recommended to using magnesium ascorbic phosphate for their vitamin C serum of choice, sometimes even over the pure ascorbic acid. Other ingredients here that I can see is niacinamide, but niacinamide is on the 7th of their ingredient list. This is where I'm talking about. If it's a vitamin C serum, put vitamin C first before your niacinamide, and you can surely add on some niacinamide, but don't make niacinamide as the most highly concentrated ingredient and still call it a vitamin C serum. I really do love this one a lot more over than the Boost Lab because of a clear label, nice concentration, and also the fact that it did add niacinamide, so I don't have to go for a niacinamide serum separately, and it provides a great absorption and is super affordable. The retail price is $24.99 for 30 ml, and by the time when I was searching my ingredient list, etc., the Swisse website is actually having 50% off, and this happens a lot, and you can find the sales quite often during the supermarket, like weekly catalog, as well as Chemist Warehouse, Priceline. They just have sales all the time. So I would definitely go this one over the Boost Lab Vitamin C Serum, as long as your skin is not super sensitive, because although it's derivative, I reckon the concentration of this one just a little bit higher, actually quite a lot higher than the one I just mentioned. Down the track, I finished the Pure Vitamin C Serum from PURITO as well, but I want to talk about something I finished recently because this is also a vitamin C derivative serum, where PURITO one is a pure ascorbic vitamin C's. If you count how many vitamin C's that I've said in this video, it's gonna be countless. So the number 7 one is the Radiance Plus 15% vitamin C serum, and we've got a 25 ml bottle here only. This is less than the 3 I just mentioned. I want to point it out because 5 ml, it is making a difference in the serum bottle for sure. The vitamin C in here is called 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid. This is also a super stable derivative, so you don't have to worry that you have to use it quickly. I've got this one for 2 to 3 months to take me time to testing, using it and finish it, and there is not a little bit of an oxidation that I've noticed. The concentration in here is also quite adequate in my opinion, although it become effective from as low as 0.5%, but we can see this all the way up to 30%, still causing no irritation, so 15% is right in the middle. The reason why we can use a quite high concentration of this one and still causing no irritation is because it have a very slow conversion. So it takes its time to get into the ascorbic acid, so also give your skin time to adapt to it and get used to it. Slow conversion also means maybe not as much of ascorbic acid it will get converted because it takes too long, and during this process a lot of other things are happening. So I would rather see a higher concentration of this one versus a low concentration. It's only because it takes its time to actually convert it, so I wanted to get the most of it actually get converted into the pure ascorbic acid. I found this one as a little bit tacky when I was using it, which I think it might not be everyone's favorite. Apart from the tackiness that it left on the skin, everything else is pretty good. And I had no irritation using it, and I found it's really nourishing on the skin apart from brightening effect. So it's a really good serum. They also add in a couple few other ingredients to help further penetrate it. So I know the ingredients are decent and the brand is something that I really trust. I do found this one is a little bit expensive because this one is $35 for 25 ml on a retail price. So I would recommend to someone in the progress of getting into the vitamin C, you're, used some low dosage, you're trying to boost up the tolerance of the skin, how a accepted vitamin C, and right before you jump into a pure ascorbate vitamin C, you might want to try this one, but it definitely not be a thing that I constantly repurchase. All right, let's talk about the last one that I finished up in the year of 2022. This is the PURITO Pure Vitamin C Serum. I'm not quite sure if you can see, there's definitely a bit of an oxidization happening around the cap because we have 5% pure ascorbic acid here. I also think they have improved the bottle as well as upgraded their formula. So I've got an old version, so I checked everything on this bottle's ingredient list. So I don't think there's a huge difference, but I'm just going to base it on how I found on this particular version of the vitamin C. PURITO definitely gone through a little bit of chaotic in the year of, was it 2021 or 2022? I can't remember now. About their sunscreens, which it kind of affect all of their skincare because people tend to, rather to try something else over a brand that maybe had issues in the past. I still really love the brand and I like to give it a second chance. Plus also because I was never affected in the first place because I wasn't using any of their sunscreen. So to me, it's still a nice brand new brand and the skincare is actually decent. The bottle of this one is obviously a lot bigger than the number 7 because we have 60 ml here and it only retails around $25, depends what website that you're choosing from. By saying that, 60 ml for a pure ascorbic acid is something you need to consistently use. Like once you open it, try to keep it in the fridge, try to keep it somewhere nice and cool away from sunlight, and definitely use it every single day. Otherwise, you won't be able to finish this whole big bottle before it got completely oxidized. And that happened to me. When I get to the very last bit, I can see the color is turning yellow and yellowier and yellow. I don't think yellowier is a word, but more and more yellowish as I finished it till to the end of it. 5% ascorbic acid is listed on the 3rd of their ingredient list. And what I found this one's really interesting is what's on the 1st of their ingredient list. Usually it's just water, but this one they used bamboo water. So it's a great skin barrier to strengthening the skin. I think the idea they put it in is because they're trying to compensate the potential irritation coming from the ascorbic acid, and I like how they put into special care effort into the formulation. But maybe it's the bamboo. It smells a bit funky, and I've noticed that on a lot of the reviews that I found on Yesstyle. Everyone noticed the same, but because it's been working so well, a lot of people was able to tolerate it, and it doesn't linger for too long. But if you sniff while you're using it, there's definitely a scent noticeable. There's also niacinamide again on the 6th of ingredient list, and I think because the 3rd ingredient ascorbic acid is 5% in concentration, the 6th niacinamide is probably around 1%-ish. Maybe it's not going to give the most effect, but it's definitely something good to see in a serum that, like I said, I don't have to apply a separate niacinamide at least every day. I found it's having a super watery texture, which is so much better than the number 7 one that I just mentioned. So it layers well with others and it feels very lightweight. The only downside is probably the funky scent, plus the fact it's a 60 ml, so you need to make sure you use it consistently once you open it. But I do think it's a really good introductory of pure ascorbic acid. If you're starting to using pure ascorbic acid, something nice, affordable, big bottle, test it out, love or hate, you can find without spending too much money. This is a great one to go for. So I do recommend it, but I will not repurchase myself. And there you go, guys. That's all the vitamin C's that I used up in the year of 2022. Overall comeback, I think the one that I really enjoy that I personally will repurchase is the Swisse Vitamin C 10% Brightening Booster Serum. I hope you guys really enjoyed this idea of going through a particular category at the end of the year as a summarize and also giving my personal experience. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give me a like and consider subscribe down below. Also leave your comment, even if it's just saying hi or if you have a different opinion, or if you want me to try some vitamin C serum that I have not tested out myself personally. I would love to know what you enjoyed and what I can get my hands into. So that is all for today. Stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!